Hello, it's Bronnie from the Money Advice Service, and I'm here with Shaun Finegan from Accent Housing. Shaun, tell us a bit more about Accent and what you do there.
Okay, my name's Shaun Finegan, as Bronnie said. I'm Director of Customer Experience for Accent. I across our northern regions, but I cover the whole country for income. Uh, Accent is a national housing association providing homes to 35,000 people across 22,000 homes. And at the moment, we're really focused on helping and supporting our tenants and customers through this really difficult time of the COVID-19 crisis, doing what we can to help people in what are quite extraordinary circumstances where there's great pressure on personal finances.
Yeah, so we've got some questions from our users from our Facebook group um, about coronavirus and living in a housing association property. So I'll just go straight into the questions.
Okay.
Okay. I've been furloughed and I've been keeping up with my rent, but I'm worried my company might make me redundant. At the moment, I don't qualify for any benefits, and the waiting period for the first payment worries me if I do get made redundant. What can I do to make sure I don't get evicted?
Okay, well, I think it's really important in those circumstances that you speak to us, and you speak to us as soon as is practically possible. We have highly trained teams as Accent Housing and across the housing association sector. They're highly trained teams who are income experts, experts on the benefit system and on universal credit, and they're on hand to offer reassurance and to support you to find a range of solutions that can ensure that you continue to live happily in your home. The last thing we want to do as a housing association is evict anybody at any time, but particularly at this time. Now, if we can't help you, we are connected to other organisations that can, and we'll make that connection for you so that we give you the best chance of meeting those rent payments through whatever means. But as I say, really important that you keep in touch with us as soon as you can and throughout the process. It's essential that we know what's happening and when and at what point we can expect a payment from you, so that we can work around that and offer leeway, so that you may well fall into arrears, but our hope is that we can get you out of those arrears as soon as is possible.
That's reassuring. The next question is, I'm thinking of moving house this summer. How would a viewing work? Would I be able to sign contracts remotely?
Uh, the short answer to that is yes. I mean, obviously, across society and across the economy, the way organisations do business has changed dramatically over these last 2 months, and in terms of how we allocate and let properties, that's no different. So, in most circumstances, we'd still meet you at the property, maintaining social distance, but we'd allow you access to the property, so you go in on your own and do a viewing on your own, if you like, rather than being given a guided tour. We may also give you a code to access a key safe at the property, so you can go and do the viewing yourself. You walk around the home independently, and if you have any questions about your prospective new home, we can answer those when you come outside, observing that 2 meter distance, as I've said. Or it may be that we can connect via Skype or video link if you have a smartphone or a device that supports that, where we can have that discussion with you then. And then we're also working towards digital solutions, and lots of housing associations have that in place now, where you'd sign a contract or a tenants agreement electronically. So we can still give that service, but we minimise that face-to-face contact, so we ensure that that you as a new customer are safe, and that our colleagues and staff are safe as well.
That's good. It's quite an uncertain time for people who are moving around.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay, so I've heard about mortgage holidays, but is there any protection for renters during this pandemic?
Yes, there's lots of protection from certainly from social housing landlords, from housing associations, but I guess from private landlords too. It's in nobody's interest to see people losing their homes through this current crisis, because people are struggling to pay their rent. So people will have heard of mortgage holidays, and whilst we don't have rent holidays as such, we do have tailored support and tailored solutions, so that we can help you to pay your rent if your income is reduced dramatically. And as I said earlier, we're experts on the benefit system. We're experts on universal credit, so we can put measures in place to get you to claim everything that you're entitled to during this difficult period. I think it's important to note that we're seeing a lot of people coming to us who have fallen out of work and are claiming benefits for the first time, so they have absolutely no knowledge, and so we're really geared our teams up to help people in those circumstances through what can be quite a daunting and challenging process of claiming universal credit and other benefits. But as I say, we've got experts on hand to help you, so contact us as soon as you can.
Great. So my contract's finishing at the end of next month. Will I be made to move?
Um, we've got lots of situations over the last 2 months where people's contracts or tenancy agreements have been ending because they've given notice to us. But in most of those cases, we've extended them because certainly during the height of the lockdown period, people were unable to move. Removal firms weren't operating. It was difficult to hire transport to physically move, and people just wanted to stay at home, I guess, and not put themselves at risk. So in many cases, we extended tenancies, and we can still do that.
Great. I don't think I can afford my rent this month. What options are there for
Um, I think we've discussed this already in some of the other questions, but as I say, just to re-emphasise that point, contact us as soon as you can. We find that many people who are struggling to pay the rent or who have debt in other areas sometimes put their head in the sand and are reluctant to contact us. We're positive, people-centered organisations as housing associations, so we really do want to help you. The last thing we want to do as a housing association is to see somebody lose their home, as I've said. Certainly the last thing we want to do is to take any legal action or evict anybody. In fact, that's not possible just now. So we're here to help us, so contact us. There'll be many people waiting for universal credit claims to come through. And we know that DWP are working hard to speed up those payments. So we're seeing payments coming through faster than ever before. So where there is that gap between you making a claim and then receiving those monies, we'll give you some leeway, and then we'll expect the payments to come through once you've been paid. So we can work with you and work around that situation with you. It's really important that you do get that application for universal credit as soon as you possibly can. And if you need any help with that, then your landlord, housing association, or Accent Housing, we can help you to do that, as I've said. And many housing associations have benefit calculators on their websites. So if, as I say, lots of people are claiming benefits and universal credit for the same time, that's a really useful tool and resource for people who just want to get some general guidance as to what they do in a situation where they fall out of work or where their income drops dramatically.
Yeah, and of course, if you need more help, like if there's a language barrier or anything like that, then Citizens Advice run Help to Claim, who can really help you with the forms if you are finding them a bit of a struggle because you're doing it for the first time.
Yeah, and we work in
Um,
partnership with those organisations right across the country. So there's lots of help on hand.
yeah. Okay, the next question is, what happens if something breaks in my flat? Are tradespeople able to come and fix it?
Uh, right, this has been quite difficult for us as landlords over the last 2 months, particularly at the height of lockdown, which has been eased recently and seems to be eased week on week just now. So most housing associations, most landlords have been operating an emergencies only repair service during that lockdown period. And that's because we want to keep everybody safe. We don't want to do anything that's going to spread the virus across the wider population and play our part in that. But also because many tenants, many customers didn't want us in their homes unless it was absolutely necessary, and we really understand that. But increasingly, housing associations and others are returning to normal services. So where that's happening, we have tradespeople that we work with and contractors that we work with who are fully kitted out with personal protective equipment. PPE is the phrase that you'll have heard a lot about in the news. We've undertaken training and briefing with the people that work for those contractors, with those tradespeople, to make sure that they adhere to the strict social distancing that we all have to do across society, and that strict hygiene protocols are adhered to at all times whilst a tradesperson in your home. And if there's someone in your home who's particularly vulnerable or shielded, then we'd ask that you let us know that in the first instance, and that person is then in another room well away from where the repair is taking place, so that we keep them safe.
It's good to know. I've not applied for universal credit before, but I think I might be eligible for it. Rent is only one of the bills I can't afford anymore. Would I be able to get a reduction on my council tax?
Um, I think many local authorities have put their own support mechanisms in place, like the banks and building societies have, like housing associations and other landlords have. I think that they're no different. That there are schemes available with your local authority where they can assist you where you've fallen into hard times financially during this crisis. So we can offer you guidance and those schemes are very different according to where you live and who your local authority is. But our local staff on the ground, they're aware of what those circumstances are, and again, they can guide you, support you, and signpost you to the correct team at your council, and hopefully you can get help with that council tax payment.
Right. Yeah, it does depend totally on where you live for these sort of things.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this is the last question.
Okay.
I'm self-employed, and unfortunately, I think it'll take me a while to recover from the lack of business at the moment. What can I do if I can't repay delayed rent payments I've been offered later on?
Okay, I'm going to sound like a broken record now, but really, contact us as soon as you can. Really important that you contact us as soon as you can. This is new territory for many people, because the vast majority of people pay their rent every week or every month, whatever that cycle is, and suddenly many people are in a situation where they're struggling to make those payments. So contact us as soon as you can. The last thing housing associations want to do, just to reiterate, is to take legal action against anybody who's experiencing financial problems at any time, actually, let alone during this COVID-19 crisis. I think we think that the economic ramifications of the crisis of COVID-19 will be here for some time to come, and that many of our customers, whether they're self-employed, whether they're employed or otherwise, are likely to be affected now and for the foreseeable future. So we're putting steps in place to make sure that the actions we're taking now are around for quite some time to come, for as long as is needed, and it could go on for months, a year or more potentially. But if you're a customer or a tenant or a resident of a housing association, we're here to help you, and we want to help you. And now more than ever, we're putting those support actions in place to do that. So contact us. We'll always look to support you to pay your rent, because we're in the business of keeping people in housing need in homes.
Yeah, so obviously there's so many new schemes for self-employed people and people in work, so it can get complicated. So if you ever have questions, you can call the Money Advice Service as well as your housing association, because we can point you to debt charities or help you to budget, whatever the issue would be, and hopefully get it sorted.
Yeah,
Get
and
you
clearly, there's a lot of government schemes in train as well, isn't it, to help people who are self-employed maintain some sense of income and to give some protection during this difficult time. I mean, how they look as we move forward, I don't know, but again, our local teams are experts in assisting people through this. That they'll have knowledge of what those schemes are, and we'll be able to signpost you to the appropriate websites or people that can assist if we can't.
Great. I think that was the last question we had. Thank you so much for giving us our time this morning.
It's no problem. Thank you.
Yeah, so final line is just to get in touch with your landlord or housing association if any of these problems sound familiar to you.
Yeah, absolutely. We're here to help you. So, pick up the phone, go on the website, drop us an email, whatever way you need to contact us, and there'll be somebody on the other end of that line to help you.
Thanks, Shaun.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.